Welcome to another episode of Film Fanatics presented by St. George News. I'm film critic Bruce Bennett with madaboutmovies.org.
And I'm Adam Mast with Cinemast.net.
Well, Adam, in Disney's The Finest Hours, 4 incredibly brave men of the Coast Guard battle a treacherous northeaster in order to rescue 32 survivors of a wounded tanker. Adam, this is a film set in 1952, and it's another one of those based on a true story films. So we really want to know, does it offer some of the finest hours in cinema, or is it all wet?
That's funny you mentioned that, because I was about to say this was not my finest 2 hours in a movie theater.
Tell us why.
I wouldn't say the movie's bad. I just didn't feel that the film was as powerful or as intense or as intriguing as the real story that inspired it. I mean, this is some intense stuff.
Yeah, I feel there's some similarities with a film we saw a couple of months ago with Chris Hemsworth called In the Heart of the Sea. When this film is out on the boat and during the rescue operations and we see these monstrous waves, I mean, it kind of makes a film that was similar a few years ago called The Perfect Storm look like a birdie bath, you know? I mean, it's really, really well shot, but then they keep going back to this old-fashioned love story between stars Chris Pine and Holly Granger, I think her name is.
Holiday Granger.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is that, oh, that's so blasé, these relentless close-ups.
Didn't we see that in Pearl Harbor?
Haven't we seen that, maybe, but I tried to forget it, right?
Yeah.
But the thing about the film is that it just, I loved when it was out on the sea, but I really feel like the characters really weren't that interesting. They were more stereotypical.
Yeah, this is a movie about heroism, and I didn't feel like it got there. And I've got to tell you, I felt, this is going to sound crazy, I felt like there was a lack of authenticity, and let me explain further.
With the special effects, or?
Not necessarily the special effects. I think Craig Gillespie and his crew, they do a great job of showing you the cold. We constantly get these sweeping shots right off shore, snow falling, these guys going out into these waves and just getting splashed with tons of water, all this stuff going on. But the way that these characters react to it, they don't
almost
look
impervious.
Cold to me.
Yeah,
it's like, and I get that it's an old-fashioned movie, and maybe that's a little nitpicky because it is a film, and again, it is very old-fashioned. But seriously, these guys aren't even shivering.
Yeah,
this is freezing cold water.
The most interesting character is one of the shipmen on board, played by Casey Affleck.
I disagree with you.
I mean, he's interesting, but I kind of don't like his character. He seems almost overly unsubdued or over-subdued and undramatic.
That's because Casey Affleck's bored. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
He's a great actor.
I'm interested because of it being Casey Affleck, and I just felt like he was in a different movie.
I think the only actor that really brings it, quite honestly, is Chris Pine. Because he doesn't do the brash Captain Kirk thing here. He's understated. He sold the Boston accent. I actually really bought that. And he's got a boyish charm to him and an innocence. There is a moment in the movie where he finally shows kind of an angry side, and I liked it. I felt like it built to that.
Most of the time there's a very linear emotion through the whole thing. There really isn't much.
This
is one of those films that might have been better handled by a documentary on the History Channel.
Maybe, yeah, I agree.
Do you feel it was sanitized by Disney, maybe?
Well, maybe. I mean, it had all the makings of a great movie, but in the end, as disappointed by Ron Howard's In the Heart of the Sea that I was, I found that movie infinitely more intriguing.
Yeah, agreed.
So, summing up.
I say actually skip this film. I think there are better at-sea films to watch than this one.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say skip it. It does me no pleasure in saying so. I wanted to like the movie. I think there are strong attributes. I certainly don't think it's terrible, but I say skip it as well.
Well, there you have it. Another episode of Film Fanatics presented by St. George News. I'm film critic Bruce Bennett with madaboutmovies.org.
And I'm Adam Mast with Cinemast.net.
And we're Film Fanatics.
Are you?
Yeah, man. There's plenty of
I wanted to like this movie much more than I did.
I'd watch The Perfect Storm again, even though maybe
I wasn't a huge fan of that either, but I definitely thought that brought the drama.
George Clooney.
This is true.